Hey guys, it's Christina here. I am coming at you guys today to talk about time management. I've heard a lot of people stressing out about their schedules and all this stuff going on. Their plates are too full and it's just creating chaos, leading to stress, and that is never a good thing. So I'm going to take a few minutes to walk you guys through what I do to manage my time and in the process manage my stress as well. So hopefully you guys get something out of this. Alright, let's go and do this thing. So the ultimate key to managing your time is to organize and plan. And what I did is I went and got a handy dandy little planner. Now this is what's called an appointment book. The difference between an appointment book and, say, a regular planner is that it actually has every single hour broken down into 15-minute intervals. And so this is really good because when you're mapping out your schedule, you can actually see where you have free time, what time is being taken up, etc., etc. Okay, now when it comes to your to-do list, what you have to accomplish, there are three things. You have your rocks, and these are your things that, are happening no matter what. So say your classes, work, anything that cannot be moved, it is set in stone. Next, you have like your rocks, your light boulders, whatever you want to call them. And these are things that they're for sure happening, but the time isn't necessarily locked in. So say studying for an exam or, meeting up with a friend, Next, you have your sand. And this is things that, you need to do or probably really should do, but it doesn't necessarily matter when it happens. So doing laundry, cleaning or calling your mom, something that really should be done, but it's not restricted to any specific time. Okay, so what I do every Sunday night, I sit down and I look at my schedule for the week. Now, if you're going to really get good at time management, you need to be consistent about actually planning. So for you, it may be a Thursday night or Tuesday morning when you sit down and plan your schedule. But for most people, Sunday night is a really good time. So the first thing I always do is I open up to the week, okay, and empty. All right. So the first thing I do is I write in anything, all my rocks, all my rock solid, this is happening no matter what things. So that's classes, work, and for me, Frisbee. So I put in all my classes, and then, because class is the most important thing when you're at school apparently. Next, I put in all my work stuff. So like I have, like a conference call, I have a management training class. Those things I throw down, and then the next thing I do is Frisbee practice. And so this is what it looks like when it's all in there. I'm not going to worry about zooming up so you can see it up close, but what's cool is that you can actually see where I am busy and where I have free time. Now you'll also notice I actually color-coded everything. And this is really good because, one, it's fun, it makes it a little less boring, but it's also another way to organize it. So I have classes are one color, I have work another color, and then Frisbee's another color. And so that way when I open up my schedule, like, oh, as soon as I see orange, I know that's school stuff. Alright. Now the next thing I do, once I've plugged in all my rocks, I think about what I have coming up. I'm going to go off on a tangent here real quick. What's cool about this planner is that it also has a monthly view. And what I use this for are any due dates or anything specific like Frisbee tournaments, concerts, things like that. And so everything is coded as well. So you can see, oh, I know come October, the first week of October, I have a test and a paper. And so that way, as I'm going through out my days, I can at least mentally prepare myself that those are coming up. Now, I'm very forgetful, as I'm sure I'm not the only one out there. So I actually went, and I'm gonna take the camera for a second. Okay. I went online and just printed off calendars. So I can actually see my entire semester right here. Just gonna zoom up a little bit. So as I'm crossing off the days, I can see how close I am to any papers, any tests. So like looking at this week, oh, excited for a concert tonight, awesome. But then I know, oh, in a couple days I have a paper that's coming up. So that way, as I'm crossing off days and I'm getting closer and closer, I can physically see how close I am versus come Tuesday night when I suddenly remember, oh snap, I have a test due, or a paper. And this has been really helpful, and I can actually see when my busy weeks are. Like, we're gonna zoom all the way up to the last week of November, so I can mentally prepare myself for you know, when it gets to be crazy versus, you know, come this weekend when I'm cramming and getting frustrated because I have like paper due, an exam, and projects due. But since I know that this is coming up, see, this week here I have virtually nothing due, nothing too crazy happening, so I can start preparing for the exam, start working on my papers, and hopefully accomplish things little by little and not be freaking out come then. So if that makes sense. So I highly advise getting all your syllabuses together and getting all your due dates compiled, and at least writing those out if anything. That way you can at least mentally prepare yourself for it. But anyway, so after I've locked in all my classes, work, Frisbee stuff, the next thing I do is make sure I don't have any due dates coming up. And so looking at this week, I know, okay, I have a test that I need to plug in. So what I actually do is going to zoom up here, hopefully. Okay, if you look under my lead class, I have a midterm that day. Now this is where planning ahead becomes important. I don't want to be cramming the night before, so what I actually do is I go back a week and then I just jot it down, either on the side or actually physically in the calendar. You know, I have this many days until the test, or test next Wednesday, whatever. Some way so I know to prepare for that ahead of time. And on that note, if I have, you want to think about if there's anything specific you have for those activities. Like say for another class you have to bring in a copy of a paper, or for practice you need a certain thing. You can jot that in as a reminder, like under the class, oh, I have to make sure I print off my paper, something like that. That way you don't get to class and panic because you forgot your paper. It happens. This is just a way to hopefully prevent that. Okay. So you've got your rocks locked in, you've got any due dates, any tests plugged in. The next thing you want to do is think about what needs to be done in order to either prepare for those things or what is specific to this week. So for example, I have that test, so I want to make sure I'm actually physically plugging in study time for it. Now when I look at my schedule, hold up again, you can see a lot of blocked off time in the mornings and in the evenings. So that tells me, okay, if I want to accomplish anything, I want to do it in the afternoon because that's where my time is. Again, that's why I advise an appointment book. I can actually see where I have all that extra time. And so then I can put in where I want to be studying for that test. So don't really want to be studying Tuesday. I should just be reviewing. At least that's plan A. So I want to make sure I'm doing a lot of my hardcore studying before. And so I'm not going to waste your time, you know, plugging that in, because I'm the only one that's going to benefit from that. But you want to make sure that you're studying or doing whatever you need to be doing well in advance. At least planning it out. There's a difference between planning and executing. Okay, so you've got your rocks, you've got your due dates, you've done what you can to prepare for those dates upcoming. The last thing you want to do is plug in your sand, and remember that was the stuff that should be done, but it's not under any time constraint. So for example, doing your laundry. Highly advise everyone be doing their laundry. For me, I do laundry every Tuesday. So what I do is I just jot down the top of Tuesday. Over on this side. Nope, wrong. Yeah, there we go. That I'm going to do laundry. Oftentimes I do that in the afternoon, but let's say hypothetically I want to put more time for studying or working on a paper or something, or friends want to go out and get lunch. That way I still know I need to get my laundry done today, but it can be filled in wherever. Now, that is how you basically plan out a schedule. Now, a couple more keys to managing your time successfully. One thing I've found works is waking up early. Now, early means different things for different people. For some people, early is 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. For some people, early is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But basically what you want to do is wake up about 2 to 3 hours before you need to be somewhere. Now, if you have a 7 a.m. class, there's really no reason to be waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning. But you want to be waking up well before you have to be anywhere. That way, one, you have lots of time to make sure that you have everything you need and that you're also not rushing out the door. The second reason for that is that way you have time to wake up. That way you're not, all sleepy and drowsy throughout your day. Well, I believe that is all I have for you. Really, time management is not a difficult thing. It's just a matter of having the discipline to execute it and make sure you plan. Time management is stress management, so it's definitely an important skill to have in your back pocket. And hopefully you guys got something out of this. Wish you guys the best. Hope all goes well. And that's really all I have for you. Thanks for giving this a watch. And yeah.